On the surface, you are a spoiled young noble who spends his time in pleasure houses, but in secret you are a top-ranked assassin at the 8th realm in Renshijian. But that is not all. You are also a transmigrator with a system. Right after crossing over, you already wanted to follow Cao Wei's old style, but sadly you never found a good chance. Until you saved a mother and daughter from the vice sect master of Bloodblade sect. Only then did you see a chance to become that kind of man. And this mother and daughter were not ordinary either. The little girl was the future heroine, and when the beautiful young mother saw you appear out of nowhere, Yun Wenling could not help asking, "Is he dead?" Only a few breaths had passed since the vice sect master from Bloodblade sect chased her, an 8th realm peak minor grandmaster. The famous vice sect master of Mad Blade sect had actually died just like that. You nodded, and the look in your eyes as you watched Yun Wenling grew heated. At this moment, Yun Wenling was using her frail body to shield against the storm, and in her arms was a little girl who looked 7 or 8 parts like her. This should be the future heroine, and Yun Wenling also sensed your burning gaze beneath the mask. She lowered her head and pressed her lips together, yet from the corner of her eye she kept sneaking glances at you. Her heart beat faster and faster. You nodded, and looked away. Only then did Yun Wenling let out a breath. Just now she had almost thought you were going to, then the daughter in her arms suddenly spoke. "Mister, are you here to kill us?" When she heard that, Yun Wenling felt her heart leap into her throat again, and suddenly felt that the road ahead was hopeless, even if they escaped this time by luck. The world was vast, but with people hunting them down. Where could 2 weak women possibly run? Looking at the innocent eyes of the little girl who looked like a doll, you shook your head, and said lightly, "I came to take you on your way." Hearing that, Yun Wenling trembled, took a deep breath, and showed a sorrowfully beautiful smile. She covered her daughter's eyes with her hand, and forced herself to sound calm. "Do it." The moment you heard that, you thought what a great turn of events, and immediately raised your left hand, slowly reaching toward Yun Wenling. As your hand moved closer and closer, the expression on Yun Wenling's face gradually calmed. Her beautiful eyes slowly closed, and her breathing steadied. She did not beg for mercy. Instead, she chose to face death calmly in the wind and rain. Just then, her daughter's innocent voice rang out again. "Mister, when are we leaving?" She was still so young that she could not understand. If Uncle was here to protect them and take them away, why was Mother covering her eyes? After waiting quietly for a while, and feeling Uncle gently stroking her face, the little girl finally could not help asking. Yun Wenling took a deep breath, and moved her hand away from her daughter's eyes. Then for the first time she looked up at you, her eyes full of pleading. She felt she had been too selfish, thinking only of dying together with her daughter, without asking if her daughter wanted that. So as she looked at you, Yun Wenling wanted to say, "Take them away." As long as her daughter could live, she was willing to pay any price, but that was only in her thoughts. She still could not bring herself to say such shameful words. At that moment she thought of her dead husband. Not long after that, you arrived at one of your estates in Qingzhou City. The mother and daughter had just been soaked by rain, and were taking a bath now. 2/4 of an hour later, Yun Wenling led her daughter into the main hall by the hand. Both mother and daughter had changed into fresh dresses. Yun Wenling's face was classically graceful, and exquisitely beautiful. With a curvy figure, the little girl wore a light yellow dress with long sleeves, and looked like a little doll. Her big eyes were sparkling, and the corners of her lips were slightly raised. After calling sweetly for Uncle, she wanted to run over to your side, but Yun Wenling pulled her back. You smiled and nodded. "Actually, I would rather hear you call me father, thanks." And sensing your heated gaze, Yun Wenling swallowed nervously. After hesitating for a long time, she still decided to thank you. Although you looked cold on the outside, in truth you had a warm heart. Not only had you saved them from the sect master of Bloodblade sect, you had also settled the mother and daughter here. It was just that you were a little too... But Yun Wenling could understand. After being brought here, she had already prepared herself mentally, but before that, there was still one thing she wanted to know. You said nothing. The heat in your eyes faded, and your cold gaze fell on Yun Wenling's resolute pretty face. Yun Wenling looked like she wanted to speak, but in the end said nothing. Instead, she moved her left hand from behind her to the front, pressed her red lips together and handed something to you. Looking at what she was passing over with her left hand, a trace of sorrow flashed through Yun Wenling's eyes, but it quickly turned firm. This thing was a supreme treasure, but the mother and daughter could not keep it, so it was better to hand it over. She did not want to keep fleeing with her dead husband's final wish anymore. Otherwise, they would never have a peaceful life. They would be hunted without end, and one day disaster would strike for sure. Approval flashed in your eyes, and a smile appeared on your face. This Yun Wenling may be well endowed, but she was not foolish. Your mission today had been to assassinate the vice sect master of Mad Blade sect. You were not supposed to reveal grandmaster level strength. That did not fit your identity in Renshijian. After all, in that assassin organization, you were only a heaven rank assassin at the 8th realm of key training. But after seeing Yun Wenling and her daughter, you changed your mind, and decided to kill the vice sect master of Mad Blade sect with absolute power, and save the mother and daughter, because you recognized who they were. Now you reached out and took the item from Yun Wenling's hand. Your palm shifted slightly and revealed what was inside. The reversed sovereign jade seal had already been infused with innate true key. After confirming it was genuine, your thoughts moved, and you flipped your hand and put it away. After seeing you put the jade seal away, Yun Wenling asked you, "Is that enough?" You nodded, and asked what she wanted. This jade seal was also of great use to you. For it you had offended a grandmaster of the heavenly human realm, but you did not regret it at all. After all, Bloodblade ancestor was far away in the Zhanzan dynasty, while you were in the Daqian dynasty. The distance between you was enormous. It would be hard for Bloodblade ancestor to trouble you, even if he wanted to, let alone that he did not know your real identity. Although Bloodblade sect also had some influence in the Daqian dynasty, the strongest among them was Mad Blade sect, whose sect master was a 9th realm spirit refining grandmaster. But you were not afraid in the least. The master of Mad Blade sect was much weaker than you. Yet Yun Wenling then said something shocking. "Take me." And the reason she suddenly said that was because she and her daughter had no one to rely on in Qingzhou City, and now the jade seal had been handed over. If she did not form a deeper bond with you, she had no idea how she could raise her daughter safely to adulthood. After this short time together, your strength was beyond question, and as for your character, she found it acceptable too. It was only a pity she did not know what your face under the mask looked like, but when you heard it you were inwardly startled, and even wondered whether Yun Wenling could read minds. Otherwise, how could she know what you were thinking? Thinking that you spoke, "You only get one chance, are you sure? Of course you saved my life, so I should repay you with myself. And Yer also needs a father." After saying that, Yun Wenling seemed to have used up all her strength. Her head lowered and her silver teeth bit down. Her pretty face flushed red, and the little girl cried out in surprise when she heard this. Daddy is Yin are gonna have a daddy now. Seeing how happy her daughter looked, the corners of Yun Wenling's eyes turned moist. Her daughter had always been sensible since childhood. Although she had never seen her father, she had never once asked about him. Yun Wanling had thought her daughter did not care. It seemed she had only hidden it in her heart, and seeing that you still said nothing, Yun Wanling's mood also became a little uneasy. Yet the reason she had found the courage to say those words was that she had sensed you liked her. After all, those 2 heated looks from you were still fresh in her memory. So she secretly glanced at you, only to meet your gaze looking right back at her. When she saw the meaning in your eyes, Yun Wanling blushed and lowered her head, while you withdrew your gaze, then lowered your head to the doll like little girl and asked, "What is your name?" The little girl replied excitedly, "Daddy, my name is Yun Wanyi." You frowned slightly when you heard that, thought for a moment and said, "For now you should still call me uncle, calling me daddy now. The time is not right yet, okay?" Yun Wanyi replied a little unhappily, while Yun Wanling trembled, and a trace of paleness appeared on her flushed face. She looked at you as if she wanted to say something. You looked toward Yun Wanling and said lightly, "I agree to your request." Those words made Yun Wanling's body tremble once again. She raised her head and met your eyes once, and quickly looked away again. And then you added one more sentence. "It is getting late." When you spoke, you did not move at all, showing no intention of leaving. Yun Wanling quickly understood, took a deep breath, looked at her daughter and smiled lightly. "Yunner, it is time to rest." About a quarter hour later, Yun Wanling returned once more, and stood prettily before you, both hands clutching the corners of her skirt. Clearly very nervous, although she had already prepared herself mentally, she had not expected it to come so soon.